Good morning. I want to thank the organizers at Online Safety Lab for inviting me to provide these opening remarks, reflecting on the need to balance freedom of expression and safety on technology platforms. My name is Julie Owono, and I am the Executive Director of Internet Sans Frontières and a proud inaugural member of the Oversight Board. We are a global and independent body of experts whose job is to safeguard freedom of expression and ensure fairness, transparency, and accountability in how content is moderated. We do this by making binding decisions on the most challenging content issues, including elections, the use of automation and AI, as well as conflict and crisis situations. To date, no other social media platform has given power to an outside body which can make binding decisions on content issues, issue public recommendations, which the platform must respond to, and which constantly pushes the platform to be more transparent and to do better for its users. I'm happy to tell you that because of our work, Meta has already made significant improvements to its content moderation policies, which have had a measurable impact. I will just mention a couple of examples. We put power back in the hands of 7 million people whose content was removed. We did this by getting Meta to allow them an easier way to appeal and provide additional context if they felt that the automated systems got it wrong. We also got Meta to implement a system that warns users if something they're about to post is highly likely to contain a policy violation. Over the course of just 3 months last year, more than 100 million pieces of content triggered this type of alerts to people around the world, giving users the power to edit or to repost their content rather than having it automatically removed. Finally, 1 billion more people now have access to Facebook's content policies in their own languages, allowing them to understand Facebook's rules. At the Oversight Board, we are only in our 5th year of operation and we are just getting started. Our goal is to move the whole industry towards a safer, more transparent, and more accountable future. These platforms serve as essential tools for information sharing, community building, and above all, the exercise of freedom of expression, the bedrock of democracy. But they are also fertile grounds for harms ranging from disinformation to incitement to violence. Navigating that tension between free expression and protection from harm is exactly where the Oversight Board comes in. Today, I would like to reflect on how Meta's Oversight Board has played a critical role in recalibrating that balance, a role that is increasingly vital, especially when we consider the evolving threats to democracy, digital rights, and public discourse globally. Social media platforms have transformed how information flows around the world. In places where traditional media is censored, state-controlled, or under political pressure, platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Threads are lifelines for free speech. They democratize access to news and they allow marginalized communities, dissidents, activists to share truth that would otherwise remain hidden. This ability to speak, to report, to challenge, to mobilize is a fundamental component of democratic societies. But the same tools that empower also expose users to surveillance, shutdowns, and manipulation. According to the coalition Keep It On, led by Access Now, and which includes organizations like Internet Sans Frontières, in 2024 alone, there were 296 internet shutdowns in 54 countries. These actions, often politically motivated, directly impact people's ability to access crucial information, especially at times when it matters most. At the Oversight Board, more than half of our cases come from the Global South. And we've made it a priority to ensure linguistic and cultural understanding informs our decisions. With 95% of our users, of Meta's users, living outside the United States, content moderation cannot be one size fits all. Cultural, linguistic, and political context matters. For instance, last year we reviewed how Meta moderated the Arabic word shaheed, which often means martyr. We found the policy overbroad, leading to the unnecessary silencing of many users, especially among Muslim and Arabic-speaking communities. So we recommended to Meta a more nuanced approach that distinguishes between glorification and reporting. Freedom of expression is a human right, but like all rights, it must be exercised responsibly and weighed against others, such as the right to safety, dignity, and the right to participate in democratic processes free from manipulation. Let me give you a few examples on how the board has navigated this tension. In Mexico, we reviewed cases showing the assassination of a mayoral candidate. While deeply disturbing, these videos held significant news value, especially during an election. The board found inconsistencies in how Meta applied the newsworthiness allowance and clarified that such content should remain accessible with appropriate warnings in place. In Pakistan, another example, we overturned the removal of a documentary on child abuse posted by Voice of America. Despite the graphic nature of the content, we ruled that it served the public interest, particularly in shedding light on justice and accountability issues. In contrast, in Ethiopia, we upheld the removal of a post spreading unverifiable rumors of mass atrocities that risked fueling violence. The decision reflected our position that freedom of expression does not extend to speech that could incite imminent harm. Lastly, in the United States, we reviewed a manipulated video of President Biden altered to make him appear abusive. In this case, instead of removal, we called for labels and context, promoting transparency over censorship. These decisions are not made lightly. They reflect our deep commitment to both protecting expression and safeguarding human life. We are also confronting a deeply troubling and fast-growing frontier of digital harm, manipulated, non-consensual intimate images. The Oversight Board has made clear that non-consensual deepfake intimate images are a serious violation of privacy and personal dignity, disproportionately harming women and girls. These images are not just a misuse of technology, they are a form of abuse that can have lasting consequences. In our multiple case decision on explicit AI images of female public figures, we at the board found that Meta's enforcement in this area fell short, and we issued concrete recommendations to strengthen protections, including making Meta's policies clearer and ensuring that AI-generated or manipulated sexualized content is explicitly recognized as a violation under the adult sexual exploitation policy. We urged Meta to shift focus away from whether an image is viral, reported, or newsworthy, and toward a core principle: lack of consent. If an image is AI generated or manipulated, that should be an inherent signal that it may be non-consensual and thus may be violating the platform standards. This would mark a major step forward in tackling the explosion of deepfakes on social media. Additionally, the way Meta currently categorizes this content under the bullying and harassment policies is misleading. Not all deepfakes are posted to harass, some are monetized, used to drive traffic to pornography sites or exploited for influence. We recommended that this type of content be moved into the adult sexual exploitation policy, where the emphasis is rightly placed on non-consensual sexual content and its profound harms, not just the motives behind the posting. By using clearer language and grounding policy in consent, we at the board believe platforms can make it easier for users to understand what is prohibited and much harder for abusers to hide behind the ambiguity of current policies. The board is actively monitoring Meta's responses, and we will continue to push for stronger safeguards, faster enforcement, and greater accountability. While Meta has committed to reviewing its policy, we will hold the company to account to ensure meaningful action is taken to protect users from the serious harms caused by non-consensual deepfake images. To close my remarks, I would like to say this. The Oversight Board exists because decisions about what stays online and what gets taken down should be informed by human rights principles, context, and by a deep understanding of the real-world consequences of online speech. At a time of rising religious tensions, intolerance, and ongoing crisis, adverse impacts on marginalized communities may be exacerbated and should be effectively mitigated. The board is committed to its mandate and strives to design rules for global content moderation with a particular focus on global majority users. We encourage and call for continuous engagement with the board through public comments and appeals. Both processes support and inform the decisions we make. So with that, I will thank once again OS Lab for the invitation. I will thank you, kind audience, for your kind attention to my words today. And I look forward to more engagement on making sure online spaces are safe, trustworthy, and welcoming for everyone. Thank you very much.